Many people have questions about the best practices for managing keywords in the ever-evolving world of Google Ads. And we get it. Keyword management can make or break a campaign. But here at Gemini, staying ahead of the curve is what we do best. In today's video, we're diving into one of the most crucial aspects of paid media success, keyword management. Whether you're new to Google Ads or just looking to optimize your strategy, we've got you covered with the insights that matter. Hey everyone, it's Joel from Gemini. We're back and we're excited to dive into some pressing topics around keyword management in Google Ads today. It's been an interesting journey over the last couple of years getting us to this point that we're at, especially with all the recent changes, some that are happening right now.
Absolutely, Joel. Hey, everybody, I'm Kyle from Gemini, paid media specialist, and I'm very much looking forward to our discussion today. As Joel was alluding to, keyword management has evolved quite a bit over the last couple of years. I mean, the last 1 to 2 years specifically, with broad match and all those new exciting features. And one major shift that has caught my attention is how match types are functioning now, how they're changing. For instance, exact match isn't quite as exact as it used to be, and phrase match seems to be expanding a little bit further to cover more variations than advertisers have ever seen.
Exactly. The shift in how match types operate is something that we're going to unpack here. So advertisers really do need to adapt their strategies, especially with the changes to exact match. Exact match used to mean an exact match. If I type in what are the best men's shoes, then that is the only search query that my ad would show for. But now we're seeing that it's starting to show for things like what are the best men's shoes right now, or just things that we normally would have thought were phrase match. This is good because a specific query can cover more variations and get us more search volume. But on the other hand, it can very much dilute the targeting and make it so that we have to do a lot more daily work.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Joel. I think one way that we've been adapting is by focusing on a more balanced approach, leveraging the automation tools at our disposal while keeping a very close eye on some of these specific keyword relevancies. However, I've also noticed that phrase match has been kind of shifting a little bit lately as well. Just a couple specific, client use cases on our end. For one of our garage door clients that we have, the phrase match keyword garage doors served our ad to a user that searched for the phrase Amar Olympus 3200. While this search term is very much a garage door, the phrase garage door was not included in that search term. Still very high intent search, but not with the words that we would expect a search term to come back with. And then another great example for this is one of our project management clients. They have a phrase match keyword for post-merger strategy. So this keyword served our ad to a user that searched for the term integration of two companies. Now, again, this search term happens to be right in line with the intent, but that alignment may not always be the case. And there are many advertisers reporting unpredictable results with phrase match as of recently, which, could be tied to Google's continuous updates in search algorithms.
Yeah, absolutely. On that one that you were seeing, Amar Olympus, is that a brand of garage door or is that one of their competitors?
No, it's not a competitor. It's a brand that sells garage doors. So I guess depends on how you look at it, but it's a brand nonetheless. And that specific search term is a product that Amar sells.
Interesting. Yeah, and I've been seeing the same types of things in my accounts. It's frustrating from the sense that every day we go in there that we're seeing a lot of search terms that we're not expecting. But again, it's a good thing because it's increasing the amount of search volume that's out there. And anytime we can increase the search volume in the search universe, we have a better chance of converting on a high intent search. To mitigate these things, I think one thing that we've done is become a lot more heavily reliant on the negative keywords and adding them and updating them a lot more frequently than we have been in the past. By adding negative keywords, we're just filtering out irrelevant traffic. For example, one of our plumbing clients has noticed that he gets lots of conversions on searches for how to unclog a drain, how to fix a sink, how to fix a toilet. But he's told us that a lot of that stuff simply doesn't turn into jobs. So we end up adding those as negative keywords. And then anytime someone searches for how to fix or how to this, how to that, their ad is no longer going to pop up. As we regularly review search term reports over and over, we can start to understand different insights about the report, which then allows us to keep making optimizations and adjustments, and then potentially catching any problems with keywords in the moment as they're happening before they get out of control.
Yeah, absolutely. I know keeping tabs on the search term report on a daily basis has been a game changer for me. Like you said, just making sure that we're showing up for the right intent, and plus adjusting bid strategies based on those insights is absolutely crucial. If a certain phrase is bringing in irrelevant clicks or we're getting irrelevant impressions that way, it's important to pivot very quickly. And we are able to do that with, negative keywords. So it's a great tool at our disposal. Speaking of bidding, we cannot ignore how Google is phasing out manual CPC, manual cost per click. This is new. This is very much a new development as of the recording of this video today. It's been interesting to see how advertisers are transitioning to smart bidding strategies like maximize conversions, value-based bidding. Have you started experimenting with any of those new strategies yet, Joel?
Yeah, I have, and that's essentially what we use on all of our accounts. We work with Google a lot, and when you work with Google, you have to take everything they say with a grain of salt, knowing that they at the end of the day are salespeople. They're not there to help you. They're there to get more money. But as they come out with these features, you need to test them and keep testing them as Google keeps iterating on them, because eventually you will find one that does work. And we have noticed over the last many years that smart bidding has been the key to success for a lot of our lead gen customers who don't have offline conversions set up. We've noticed that the target cost per acquisition bid strategy is really impactful and can get them quite high lead volume. I think it's important, though, when you're working your way up the bid strategy ladder, to conduct tests. You can do experiments right in the platform, and just do a little bit at a time to make sure it's doing what you want before going. So to give you an example, we had one client where we had everything in place. We had actual live values coming in, and we thought we wanted to migrate up from target cost per acquisition up to ROAS. But in this situation, we ran a couple of experiments and found, for whatever reason, Google was performing better at target cost per acquisition. So it's always important to test, to work your way up the bid ladder, but do it in small tests, in chunks, to make sure that it's doing what you want. Just because you have the data going does not mean that you can already stick it on target ROAS and put in whatever return you want.
When it comes to broad match, combining it with a smart bidding strategy like target cost per acquisition or return on ad spend has become increasingly effective. And Google's AI is it's really powerful in finding new keyword opportunities while also optimizing the spend kind of simultaneously.
Right, but I think it's really important, as we keep talking about, that we test these broad match words with caution. We're looking at the search terms report every single day, because as we can get them to be successful, they're not going to be successful immediately. When you start a broad match term, the stuff that starts coming in can be not what you want. It can start bidding on a competitor, and that might not be what you want. And then if it finds that it's getting conversions based off that, it's going to start going after that over and over and over and over, without knowing whether or not those are high quality or low quality leads. So super important that you're going in the search terms report every single day, understanding what searches are firing off which keywords, and then making optimizations based off that.
Yeah, and then taking this a step further, right? We've been analyzing how different match types are actually impacting the overall customer journey. It's such an important thing nowadays with multiple touch points. They start on our ad, they go to social, they do their own research, they get another ad. So, for instance, understanding which keywords assist in these conversions versus those that are actually driving the sale is very key. And this insight allows us to allocate more budget efficiently and refine our targeting even further based on the insights that that provides us.
That's a smart strategy. It's all about being strategic in our approach as the landscape continues to evolve. That's one of the reasons that we like doing this so much, is that no day is the same. I mean, literally every single week you can expect there to be something different about the Google Ads platform. So it's super important that we are constantly staying up to date with Google's changes to see how they're going to impact our stuff, but also hearing what the Google reps have to say to us and kind of finding that balancing point in the middle to figure out what we're going to test, how much we're going to test, and then if something doesn't test, putting it in our back pocket until Google has told us that they've improved on it. Other than Google, Kyle, are there any places that you go to stay up to date on information in our world?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Google Ads' official updates and just Google products in general, whether it's Tag Manager or GA4, those updates are obviously invaluable using Google's products. But getting the full picture from other advertisers is also important, and seeing what the landscape is seeing in their experience. So, different blogs like SEO Journal, Search Engine Land. I mean, different webinars that these establishments put on are a huge part of the research that we're doing to kind of refine our strategy as it pertains to the clients that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're going to talk a little bit about how we set up our keywords. I've been looking at the way we've been doing our keywords recently, and I've noticed that intent is more crucial than ever. Think about, I need a plumber versus my drain is clogged. Google is constantly trying to figure out what is the intent behind people's searches, and that is helping them to understand what people are really looking for. I use some tools like Keyword Planner to actually look for those high intent, long tail keywords for the businesses. Have you found that to be successful for your clients?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, long tail keywords are gold mines. And I mean, I don't want to misquote, but we were both attending a Google webinar recently, and I think the figure was 15% of daily searches have never been searched before. So just, not only, we need to align better the user intent, but also, look for stuff that has lower competition, which we're seeing more of in recent history. I like to group them into tightly themed ad groups, and then that kind of enhances the relevancy of the keywords from that perspective. What strategies and what testing for ad copy have you found successful?
Sure. Well, first of all, we always want to have excellent ad scores, but beyond that, I like to have a minimum of three responsive search ads in every ad campaign. There's no reason that we shouldn't be testing something at all times with that. And it's just easy data that comes into Google and lets us see which headlines or which descriptions are going to be performing best. One other thing I wanted to talk about with setting up these long tail keywords and knowing now that broad match can kind of get out of control is we kind of have to be a little bit concerned about keyword cannibalization. Are broad match keywords essentially bidding after the exact same thing and competing each other, thus driving up the costs? So I just kind of look through my search reports to make sure that when I do have a search term come in, it's not hitting two different keywords. But what do you do on the keyword cannibalization front?
Yeah, I mean, keyword cannibalization it's certainly a rising concern with, broad match and just how powerful broad match has become over the last, month, year. I think the key is it's really just proper campaign structure and grouping your keywords by themes, and then, on a reactive standpoint, leveraging the negative keywords strategically to hit the audience with the highest intent. And it's really essential to conduct those regular audits of queries. Like we've said multiple times, we're doing that on a daily basis. It's a huge part of our strategy for all of our clients. And doing that kind of ensures that we aren't overlapping too much to where we're driving up costs for ourselves essentially.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like I said, Google is constantly changing things, and we just need to be flexible and stay on top of things. Well, thank you guys for tuning into our chat today on keywords. Let us know in the comments below what you are seeing with your phrase match and broad match terms. And also, if you have any questions about best practices regarding keyword management, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more digital marketing conversations like this. Things are always changing, and we will make sure to keep you guys up to date.